odds on this one. Really quickly, one more big game, and then we'll wrap the show with a couple quick hitters. A game that I am like super intrigued by. Minnesota at Michigan State. Another one, open as a pick'em. It is now Minnesota on the road against Michigan State, which was just ranked in the top 15 last week. Minnesota on the road, open as a pick. It is now Minnesota -3. The over-under is like 51. It's down from 51.5. It is at 51. And what I'll say about this, what I'll say about Minnesota is that Minnesota, remember how I just said a minute ago about Arkansas, Sam Pittman? And I said Minnesota, or I said Arkansas, credit them because they have an identity. PJ Fleck has taken it to another level at Minnesota. Okay, this is what Minnesota wants to do. They're in the cold weather. It's outdoors in Minneapolis. They want to run the ball right at you. They want to chew up clock, and they don't care how ugly it is. They just want to win by running the ball at you and passing as little as possible. Now, this year, the offense is scoring so much that it's kind of putting it into whatever. But for this year, first of all, the offense has been really good. 38 points, 62 against Western Illinois, 49 against Colorado. They haven't played anybody. But why I bring this up, this is their blueprint. This is their MO. This is who they are. Number 2 in rush offense in college football right now. Minnesota is number 2 in rushing offense so far this season. They rank number 1 in time of possession. And just for good measure, they're number 2 in total defense as well. Now, part of the total defense thing, they haven't played very many good teams. They haven't played anybody good. New Mexico State, Western Illinois, Colorado are all terrible. But the fact that they run the ball at you, take time off the clock, I think that's a fact. I also think what's intriguing about this game, Michigan State's really interesting, and I'm not sure that they're good. Now, look, this is my preseason bias coming in. I was not as high on Michigan State as most people. I told you that when we did the over-unders in the Big Ten East preview. But at the same time, you look at this Michigan State team. What would be concerning to me, yes, they're 2-1. I get all that. I understand it. And I get that they beat Western Michigan 35-13. They took care of Akron, and they lost last week to Washington. A couple things would concern me. One, that Western Michigan game was close into the fourth quarter. They got destroyed by Washington. That secondary that was terrible last year doesn't appear to be that much improved. Washington threw the ball all over them last week. But what's more concerning is there's just been inconsistency across the board for Michigan State, and I don't think you know what you are going to get from Michigan State week to week. Run game, really effective early in the year. Had 42 rushing yards, 1.4 yards per carry last week against Washington, excuse me. Now you're going up against the number 2 rush defense in college football. Good luck. Peyton Thorne really struggled early in the year. Then last week had 3 touchdowns, 1 interception in the toughest road environment. One of the tougher road environments he's going to play in all year. So my concern with Michigan State is just inconsistency. I talked about PJ Fleck. I talked about Sam Pittman. They have an identity. They have established something. Then you got teams like Texas A&M. Texas A&M's all over the place. You got a team like Michigan State. Some days they're good in this. Some days they're not good. Some days they're this. I can't comfortably bet it. I can't comfortably say that Michigan State can't be competitive. I do like Minnesota, though, in this game. I think this is one, especially with that rush defense. Michigan State needs to establish the run. I don't know that they'll be able to. All the money has come in on Minnesota, and I think it's with good